Next Sunday is Baptism Sunday. Baptism is such an important step, a milestone in someone's journey following Jesus. But it's not something that gets talked about a whole lot. So I want to take time today to talk about baptism and answer some questions that you might have about it. You may be asking, what is baptism? Well, before we get to that, I think it's first important that we understand what baptism is not. Baptism is not the same as salvation, and baptism doesn't save you. Only Jesus saves us when we put our faith in Him and give Him control of our lives. So it is possible for somebody to be saved and following Jesus, even if they haven't been baptized yet. Romans 10:9 says, if you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. Simple as that. So, baptism doesn't save you, but baptism is an outward symbol or picture of what Jesus has done for us on the inside. When Jesus was killed on the cross and buried in the tomb, He took all of our sin, every mistake that we would ever make, upon Himself. And when Jesus resurrected and came back to life again, He defeated the power of sin and death once and for all. When we're baptized, we are physically buried under the water just like Jesus was buried in the tomb. That symbolizes the death and burial of all of our sin, every mistake, and the old way that we used to do things. When we're lifted out of the water, it symbolizes us stepping into new life that Jesus gives us. Colossians 2:12 says, for you were buried with Christ when you were baptized, and with Him you were raised to new life because you trusted the mighty power of God who raised Christ from the dead. So does being baptized mean that your life will be perfect and that you won't make any more mistakes or have any problems? No. We are still human, so we will still make mistakes, and we live in a broken, messed up world, so we will still face problems. But those mistakes and those problems no longer define us. When we mess up, we can look back and remember that Jesus has made us new. He's forgiven every mistake so we can run to Him when trouble comes. He's given us new life so that we don't have to be slaves to our sin and mistakes anymore. And those voices of guilt and shame that try to speak over your life have to be silent because of who Jesus is and what He has done in your life. So why should you be baptized? We should be baptized because it's something that God has asked us to do. We read in Matthew 3 that even Jesus Himself was baptized and set the example for us to follow. So how do you know if you're ready to be baptized? If you've put your trust in Jesus and you've committed your life to follow Him and you're ready to share that decision publicly, then you should be baptized. But if you feel rushed or pressured into being baptized, it's totally okay to wait until you feel ready. Because remember, you don't have to be baptized to be saved. And if you don't fully understand baptism and what it means for your life, then you should talk with your parents, your pastor, or a small group leader so that you feel confident and ready when you do make the decision to be baptized. If you think you are ready to be baptized, you can talk to your parents about signing up today for the baptism service that's happening next week. If you don't feel ready just yet and you have some questions, we would love to talk with you more so that one day you will be ready to take the next step in your life with Jesus and be baptized.